It's Wednesday, April the 8th, 2015. I'm Bob Going with Gavin Murdoch. And because school's off, our contributing editor, Phillip Tambasco, is filling in for Jim Nikosha. Just try to act 81 instead of 16 if you can. All right. And this is the show with no name here on WCSS 1490 in Amsterdam, New York. We are absolutely thrilled, delighted, ecstatic,
happy
as well, because we have as our special guest today noted celebrity Mr. Vincent Moore.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Oh, we're glad to have you. Now, I don't know if everybody knows it. If you're been ignoring everything that's been happening the last few weeks, but Vincent has been coming to Amsterdam for some time now. I think I think your billboards went up slightly ahead of the ones for Pedro's south of the border.
I just thought I'd make one or two, let a few people know I was coming.
Yeah, a few people. Yes, a few people are aware of your presence. So you arrived when Sunday?
Yeah, I arrived into New York on Sunday.
Yeah,
and then I came down here on what was it? Well, actually, I got here on Sunday. I arrived on Friday. Spent a little time in Binghamton, hung out there, saw that town, and visited some family up there. It was a good time.
So you got connections in Binghamton?
Couple. Yeah. I have a son-in-law who's a police officer over there.
Oh well, okay, that's safe then.
Yeah.
So you got the little card in your wallet?
No.
Get out of jail free card?
Yeah?
No. I just let him drive me around everywhere.
Oh well, okay, with the sirens going? Or?
You bet.
Yeah,
time of my life.
That is so cool. That is so cool. And you have many relatives left in town?
I didn't realize how many I had left in town.
Until they were reading Facebook, yeah.
Until they read Facebook, yes. And then last night I ran into a few more. I mean, every time I turn around, it's like, well, I'm kind of related in a sort of way, And over the years, marriages have done it.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, yeah, I've got, my mom moved back about 12 years ago, and my sister has always lived here.
Oh, so your mother is here?
Yeah, she's up there in Gloversville now, and...
Oh.
Yeah.
That town.
Yeah, bad town. Yeah, we don't talk about Gloversville much.
Oh, I know.
It's a good thing Jim's not here. Yeah. Jim's from Gloversville, Jim Nikosha, and he got out of there. So your mother's stuck there, huh?
Yeah, well, she's up there, in the senior community. So she's happy there. It's a nice little area where she's not quite downtown Gloversville. She's more Broad-Albin.
All right, so. I suppose that's a reason to visit the area. I mean, everyone needs to see Mom once in a while, but I got to ask you, you're one of the people who has escaped from Amsterdam, and yet here you are.
Yes.
Is this like the black hole syndrome we talk about sometimes on the show, where you start to escape, you get up to the edge of the black hole, and then it just sucks you right back in here?
Kind of. No, not really. It's like it's been years. I have not been back. I've been back for about a 24-hour period, maybe 5 times in the last 30 years.
No kidding.
It was to take care of some family business or something and leave. And even after my mother moved back, I was still making those quick visits. And just decided it was time, and we all got together, decided let's converge. And I've always loved Amsterdam. Yes, when I left, there was nothing here at the time. Industry was going.
You must be really startled to see how much is here now, then.
Well, I look at it, and I was just walking down the little part of Main Street left. We won't talk about the mall.
Yeah.
And, it's like, it's building up again. Last night I went to stop by the Common Council meeting. It sounds like they've got some plans in the future for the place, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
I have seen other small communities go from where Amsterdam is to being thriving again, and it's just a lot not
we do have a pool hall back on Main Street. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw that, yes.
Quite a nice one, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is not like like the olden days. Yeah, this is a billiard parlor.
Yes,
not a pool hall.
It's not the back hall ones.
No.
And there's nobody taking numbers around the corner.
Well, I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
Gotta make a living,
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
Philip doesn't know what we're talking about.
No. That's the one thing I enjoy about Facebook is, you talk about the back rooms, the gambling, the numbers, and everybody has a story.
And I'll tell you, when the state came in, about 30 years ago, they were shocked. They were absolutely shocked to find there was gambling going on in the city of Amsterdam.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. My grandmother used to like.
The immortal words of Mayor Gamulka at the time, I don't know nothing about no gambling.
Yes. I kind of remember him too.
So you a Amsterdam High graduate or what?
Yeah, I was the last 9th grade class to graduate from T.R. Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Teddy Roosevelt, and then I was one of those lucky ones that started off in 10th at the new high school, so I didn't have to go through the freshman thing.
Oh,
and, yeah. So I was one of the first classes to go through.
Yeah. Okay. So you would have. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out. All right. Just tell me what year it was. I don't.
1980s when I graduated.
1980.
Yep.
Okay. And I'm thinking my brother-in-law was maybe 79, maybe something like that. Yeah. John Thacker. I don't know if you know him.
I remember the name. Yeah. Because my sisters were a little bit older than I am, so I've got like a 5-year span of high school people I've met.
All right. Who were your sisters?
Linda Moore. She's now Linda Lambeau. And then there's Teresa Moore, and she's Teresa Moore Fagan now. And Teresa lives in Seattle area, and Linda still lives in the area also.
Okay. All right. And what years did they graduate from?
75 and 78, I believe.
No, my wife's class is 75.
I'm sure my sister probably knows her.
Yeah, and Michael Villa, candidate for mayor, his class is 75.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, and Linda has stayed in the area. She's worked for Stewart's now for 20 some odd years, and she used to be an Amsterdam Savings Bank person before that.
Yeah, I used to have a checking account there, and I've never changed the checking account, and I've got checks with 6 different bank names.
Amazing, isn't it?
That's because they kept merging and getting bought out.
But there's no more money in it, right?
There's I have I have less money in than I had back when I had my Amsterdam Savings Bank account. That is true. But that's okay.
That's true.
All right. Gavin, you must have some important questions.
No.
Okay. No. So what are you doing for a living these days?
Right now, physically, I'm unable to work for a while. I had some major back surgery, and so I've got all these rods and screws and stuff in my back.
Yeah, I know that story.
Oh, yeah. And now they're talking possibly, some more surgery in the near future.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah. I'm, not looking forward to the fiberglass and wandering around.
So what'd you do before that?
I was a graphic artist. Surprise.
Wow, that would account for how quickly you were able to put together all those. I assume they were composites. Most of them
were. Maybe not the Wonder Woman with the big wig, but. Oh yeah, I enjoy doing it. It's something I've always done. I was telling some people, even back when I lived here, back in '79, the mayor actually came up to me and asked me if I would design some wild graphic murals for the hallways of the city hall.
No kidding.
Yeah, they had plans to do like the big wild 70 stripes and all that back then.
Wow.
But I left before it was taken care of.
And you know what? It never happened, I don't think.
No, it never did.
Oh.
Yeah. Like I said, the place looks nice. Saw it last night.
We can go up to Home Depot after the show, get you a couple of cans of paint, and I'll drive you up to City Hall. Do whatever you want with it. Do whatever you want with the place.
Only if Phillip does the painting.
What do you think, Phillip?
Yeah.
You're not allowed there anymore? You got kicked out after the mayor saw you trying to get into her office?
I almost did.
What? What?
No.
No? No? All right.
I like the mayor. She's my friend.
All right. So what's next for you? You're going to stay here for a while, or what?
I'm here till Sunday.
Well, that's not. That's like
What's
a whole week after 30 years.
No, 96 more hours.
Now, right after this, my adventure continues. I'm rushing up to hang out with the seniors while they're bowling. So Mom's 80, threw a 256 a few weeks ago. So she's still going, and she's like, "You got to come up and meet the boys." And so it's lunch with the bowlers and hang out with them.
Wow.
I know how to live on the edge when I'm here.
Yeah. Yes, and that's what we mostly do around here, because this is an edgy town. Oh yeah. Yeah, Phillip went to his sophomore dance a couple of weeks back there.
I did.
Yes, and
Solo, he says.
Solo.
No. He just did. He
didn't
came
have
home.
a date.
He came home
solo.
He went with a date. He came home solo.
Well, at least it wasn't his cousin you went with, right?
No, it wasn't my cousin.
Oh, that's good.
Lost her in the crowd.
Wait. You didn't take your cousin?
No, not my cousins. We went to 2 different schools. We'll just put it that way.
Went to different schools together.
Yeah, so yeah, my cousins were all on the south side, actually. They were part of the, the Karcheski family, and
Okay.
the Turos, all of them, they're all
Yeah.
kind of related, yeah. So
Yeah.
those are my cousins, and yeah, so I have family everywhere.
Wow.
I'm related to the O'Briens, the people, the Tumans, the Sikowskis, and
Yeah, I see. If I didn't follow you on Facebook, I would not know my friends the Sikowskis were running Tumans.
see?
That's the first. I get my hair cut next door, and I think, geez, I should drop into Tumans. I don't know anybody there.
Oh, Frank's had it for 10 years now. I bet.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. I
See?
did not
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, just go out there and tell them I sent you.
I will indeed. I will indeed. Now, you're related to his wife? Is it?
Yeah, through his wife.
She's
yeah.
a cuckoo? You're a cuckoo?
No, I'm not a cuckoo. Actually,
That's his wife's name.
Yeah,
I understand. They're
Yeah,
friends
Just
of mine.
saying.
yeah. My mom and
You're nuts
Betty.
too, then.
Yeah, her mother Betty Cuckoo. Yeah. Oh, actually, I'm not related to the Cuckoos. I'm actually related to the Sikowskis. My grandmother was the niece of Julia Sikowski, which is, I believe, Frank's mother.
Oh, Frank's mother. Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I knew Julie well. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that was my grandmother's niece. So that's how we're kind of related there.
Julie was your grandmother's niece.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. And then of course they all.
Well, then that would be one of your parents' cousins.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So that's kind of my cousin.
All
yeah.
right. So Richie is your cousin as well.
Richie's my cousin. Yeah.
And all the other Sikowskis and
Yep.
Debbie and Ronnie. Now I got to go through them. Alicia. Is that it, or did I miss one?
Let's see. Well, yeah. There's so many of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we won't even talk about.
And then they've all got kids.
Right. And then there's the Andrzejewski family I'm some kind of related to. in a
Tommy and
Tommy,
Wayne
Pat, oh yeah,
and Pat,
all those, yeah.
Well, no kidding.
Yep.
Wow.
Every time I turn around, it's like someone's new I'm finding out.
Wow.
You got deep roots in the community.
Deep roots in the community. Have it's an election year. You could set down roots in any ward of the city, and you probably have relatives there willing to vote for you. Or you could, run for the big office, and it doesn't matter where you live in the city. But you could run for the council, run for alderman or controller this year.
But I'd have to move back, right?
Well,
yeah.
that is a kind of a prerequisite.
Yeah, but I don't know about shoveling the snow. I've got to really think about
Well,
that
see,
one.
if you're like the mayor or something, you wouldn't have to shovel the snow. You just, just call up DPW and say, send a truck over.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, right?
I don't know. I'm not going to touch that one.
Okay. All right. All right. So where are you living these days?
I'm living in Phoenix.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep, Central Phoenix. I'm right in the middle of it all.
Wow.
Yep, 5 minutes from the ballparks,
Really?
downtown. Yeah.
Yeah.
I stand on my roof. I can see everything.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is so cool. A lot of people from here have relocated down there.
Right.
They're probably all your relatives.
Well, I
Now,
don't know.
Larry Karcheski is a relative of yours or no?
Yeah, that was my uncle. Mhm.
Yeah. He used to work for the city.
Yeah, worked for the city, worked on the pool for every summer, and actually he was the one painting the walls of the city hall that was prepping it before
There you
my
go.
graphic murals were supposed to go
I
up.
think he used to do all the signs too, all the street signs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my uncle Dickie, before he passed away back in the early '70s, I mean, he worked for the city too, and
Wow, so you're really deeply connected.
yeah,
Yeah.
My grandfather, Vincent Karcheski, he used to cook at Kathy's restaurant on Market back in the day.
Wow.
What was it? The McDonald's down in Schenectady before it was McDonald's restaurant, but the actual McDonald's diner.
Yeah.
And I guess the rumor
Remember
is
Kathy's lunch?
Absolutely. Everybody went there.
Yeah, it was
My
like
mom-
was it on the? I think it was on the corner of Division, wasn't it, or close to it?
it was real close.
yeah, or next door to the corner.
Well, my mom was the little waitress in there all the time too.
No kidding.
Yeah, she started off working with Brownie, and over there, my grandfather worked with Brownie for years.
The old brownie.
The old Brownies, when it was down here,
Yeah.
up there, everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
So quite a history there.
Wow.
My grandfather's probably catered for weddings around town. I know he used to do that. Yeah.
Is your grandfather Karcheski?
Yeah, grandfather Karcheski,
And you were
yeah.
named for him, were you?
Oh yeah, my first name, named after my grandfather.
Your name's grandfather?
I was named after my grandfather. Yeah, my
Your
grandfather.
first name, grandfather. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a nice name, grandfather.
Yeah, I try not to, but I do have a few grandchildren out there. So.
Wow. All right. So how are you related to the Andrzejewskis, or aren't you sure?
It's through my grandmother's side, and something to do with, I believe it's through my grandmother's other sister. My grandmother was one of 13 children. Yeah, and I know one of her sisters had several marriages with several different children over the course of the year. So yeah, there's the O'Briens, the Andrzejewskis, it just goes on.
The
and
O'Briens.
Yep.
No kidding, the O'Brien.
Yep.
Well, how did O'Brien get into that, that mix?
That was one of my aunts. She married into the O'Brien family. And then the Nethaways. I'm related to the Nethaways.
Wait, the Sergeant Nethaway from the police department?
Could be.
Or the Nethaways from Wall Street?
Oh, no, and definitely not the Wall Street. I do know that.
Well, okay. Wow.
Our Wall Street.
Your Wall Street.
Our
Oh,
Wall
that
Street.
Wall Street. Oh,
Yeah.
no, never mind.
Oh, no.
It probably is the ones from Wall Street. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, let's see. Joe Emanuel's mother was a Nethaway. For our former mayor.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We're Bobby Nethaway, all those. Yeah. I don't know if I should throw out some of these names. They may not all have a good reputation.
Well, the Nethaways all have a good reputation. I'm not sure that they necessarily want to be associated with your reputation, but I don't know.
Well,
He's clean.
Yeah, so far,
He passed we did the background check before he came on the air.
We
He's
did
okay.
before the invitation went out. We
Yeah,
did
you're
do
okay.
we did do a deep background check. That's how we didn't know you were living in Phoenix.
We didn't get that deep.
And I've been here a few days. I haven't wound up on the street here in the jail, so I'm doing okay.
Did you drive up or you?
No, I flew in and then rented a car, of course, and here I am driving around, enjoying this lovely rain and icy weather this morning.
Yep.
Now, I got to say, it was really one of the biggest promotions I've ever seen. You're coming to town. What possessed you to do that? Were you really that excited?
Yeah, actually, I was really excited because, it'd been 35 years since we got my family together. And, I was excited when that point. And then when the comments started coming in, some of them liked it, some of them hated it. It just kind of made me want to do it even more.
That was fun.
Yeah, you got a couple of, but it's usual crackpot, cranky crackpots.
And I kind of love them. I've known them
As a
since.
matter of fact, one of the people there was one of those one-sided conversations because there are certain people I've just plain blocked because I just don't want to listen to them.
Right, yeah.
And so you only get one side of the conversation. You find your response or somebody else's response, and you don't know what they're responding to.
Yeah, but taking everything out of context is kind of the way to do it these days.
Well, yeah, it works. It works. That's why I point out that there are political offices available, and they give you an opportunity to exercise that part of your personality if you're able to take things out of context.
Well, it's a possibility.
Ram them through.
I'd come back, possibly run. That's an idea.
My brother did it kind of like you. He left town when he went to college, and really, aside for those couple of summers while he was in college, never came back till. And he was gone for about 30 years before he made any kind of a visit at all. Pretty much.
Well, I love Amsterdam. It does has its bad moments right now, but it seems like it's going to have a very good, bright future. And people are starting to work together. Maybe they should work a little more, but there's still a lot of fighting.
Well, politics has always been kind of a blood sport here. Mm-hmm. There are certain places where that's just always been true, and it's always been true here. Always. Oh yeah. Phillip here is an historian. I don't know if you're aware of that, but
yes.
He goes back and takes a look at it. You can see that this is not something that just happened in the last 5 years or the last 20 years. Mm-hmm. It's been a blood sport. In my book, Where Do We Find Such Men, available at the Old Peddler's Wagon and the Book Hound on Main Street.
Or you can go to Amazon and get
or
it.
Amazon.com, or the Walter Elwood Museum, parenthetically.
And I'm
what was my point? I tell the story about Mayor Carter, Arthur Carter, for whom the golf course is named. Arthur Carter was mayor for about 10 years, from about 33 to 43. Okay. And due to a law passed by the state legislature, he was allowed to go in the Army without giving up his job as mayor of the city of Amsterdam.
Well, that's interesting.
Okay, and that was true for all the elected officials around the state until the end of his term, obviously. But if the war suddenly ended, he could come back and be mayor again. So there would be an interim mayor
While he was gone.
While he was gone for the rest of his term.
Oh, okay.
And so he does that. He's a veteran of World War I. They put him in as a captain or something, make him an officer, and his job ultimately is to the military governance of the occupied territories as they come about. He ends up with a sweet job in Italy, where everybody loves the Americans. A site that included Pompeii, and of course Mount Vesuvius had the biggest eruption in 500 years while he was occupying that territory, and he was responsible for evacuating all the villages and all that stuff. So anyway, it was still better than running a Common Council meeting. The story I tell is his last day in office, his last Common Council meeting. He's leaving the next day, and he comes to the Common Council meeting in his captain's uniform, and the entire meeting is taken up with fighting over who's going to take his place when he leaves, and they break into caucuses.
Right.
You know, and they're coming back from the caucuses purple-faced. And, you know, they put up motion, and finally somebody makes a motion to adjourn. The vote is 6-2 to adjourn, and everybody gets up and walks out of the room. And here's the guy who's been mayor for 10 years sitting there in his uniform, and nobody even said goodbye to him, let alone thank you and good luck and, over there, you know, nothing. But that was it. The politics was just so personal and so brutal that
well, I'll admit
they couldn't even put it aside to say goodbye to a guy going into the army to serve his country.
Well, I saw a few purple faces and some spitting mad people last night.
Ah, there you go.
I won't say where they were sitting, but you know they were at the big tables up front.
Was Phillip running the camera last night?
No, I got called into work. I was going to.
Work?
Where
do you work?
Where are you working?
I work at Russo's.
You do? What are you doing there?
I'm a dishwasher.
No kidding.
I am.
Wow. That's where a lot of great people got their start.
A lot of people hanging out there.
Oh,
I
yeah.
started as a dishwasher at Brownies myself.
There you go. There you go. So you worked for Ray?
Yeah, I worked for Ray. Yeah, I mean, my family's been involved with Brownies and Ray for years. I think almost everyone in my family at one time or another has worked for him.
Was Bobby Crystal still making hot dogs then?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember him with the white paper hat. I do remember.
And he would play the same song over and over and over on the jukebox.
What was that?
Werewolves of London.
Werewolves of London?
Yep, when it was popular, it was like over and over. It was nothing like listening to that over and over while working.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we got it here.
You got to search it up now.
See?
Yeah. Werewolves of London. Huh?
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye out for that.
Oh, yeah. Used to be the point where, you know, Ray would come around and unplug the jukebox. Yeah.
Oh, we have a phone call. Gavin, lend him your ears.
Okay.
This is WCSS. You're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Robert. How you doing up there in New York?
Hey, we're doing great. You're speaking of expatriates. How are things down there, Paulie?
Oh my God, it's getting warm as heck down here. Everything's
getting
growing,
warmer. It's going to be 63 here on Saturday.
Oh, right. Well, it's going to be
Friday, actually. I think. Yeah.
Robert, tomorrow's going to be up to 85 degrees, 87 degrees, and it's getting real humid here.
You better come back up here then. This is Paulie World down in Tennessee.
Bob, I'm not knocking every single liberal Democrat, but I got to wait till they're gone. Okay, so you know.
Yeah.
I want to ask about something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know why Mr. Rudy Giuliani don't throw his hat in the ring for taking president. You know, he should. You know, Rudy, the former mayor from New York City.
Yes, I'm familiar with him. He signed my hard hat when I was at Ground Zero. As a matter of fact, yes.
Mm-hmm. Well,
yeah. I don't think he doesn't want to run this year. I've heard him say that.
No, I know he's not in very good health either. But I hope we have to get. I'll tell you something. It's like Amsterdam. Just like I told the other gentleman on the phone. If you people don't get somebody else up there next year, I feel sorry for the people of Amsterdam because it's going to go down, down, down. You know.
Down. Well, okay, all right.
And they have to get rid of all that corporation council because I wouldn't trust them as far as 2 cents goes. Believe me.
Well, nobody trusted the last corporation council either. It just kind of goes with the job.
Well, I didn't say I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. You know, Jerry. So you know.
Oh, Jerry. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about.
I wouldn't even. I wouldn't. He crosses priority lines like Tommy DeMezza does. I wouldn't take a trust him either. Goodbye. Thanks. Have a nice day.
All right. Thanks, Paul. Bye-bye. Okay. 843-2500 is the number. We got our phones.
The phones are back.
Phones are back working. So I don't know where the Johnstown phone is ringing that we had the other. I think it was a Johnstown. I don't know what it was.
725, yeah.
Yeah. Or that was 725. Was it? That's Gloversville. Or was it?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, we had an extra. Our phone lines were down because they had a big
fire in the hole.
Fire in the hole on Market in Maine.
Oh, is that what all the construction down there right now is? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and took them like 4 days to fix it, I guess.
It's still down there.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Well, we're back on anyway.
Yep.
I don't know about the south side, but we're back on.
That's good.
So how many of your relatives have you actually seen while you're here?
Just my sister so far, and Peggy. I saw Peggy yesterday, and we're going to be running into each other like the next 2 days are the family thing and the relative. Yeah, but I've seen probably like 10, 12 people I graduated with. I haven't seen, haven't talked to. It's the miracle of Facebook.
It is. It's an amazing thing. Yes. And they remembered who you were.
Well, they do now, yes.
Yeah.
Apparently they remember more about me than I remembered about them.
You'll find other people will remember things about you that you choose to forget.
Some of them, And then just like as long as they don't tell all the stories, I'll be okay.
Yeah, you gotta save some for yourself.
That's true.
So was Peggy surprised to see you or no?
Well, yeah, it was funny. I went in there and I was sitting next to her, and I didn't even realize it. I knew I hadn't seen anybody in such a long time, and I'm sitting there chatting with her, and I was like, I believe I'm related to somebody in here, and finally, after about a 10-minute conversation, I mentioned my mom's name, and all of a sudden, oh my God, it all came clear, and I finally met her after all these years. Kind of lose touch, and everybody just kind of, when we disappeared, we disappeared.
Yeah. Well, did you even know Peggy when you were living here?
Just briefly.
Vaguely,
her mother, and my mother were very good friends at the time. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Disappearing thing's a miracle. So
you're
witness
connected.
protection.
You're connected through friendship and blood.
Yeah. The Cuckoo family. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the joke when I was a child.
Wow.
The Miracle Witness Protection Program. It's wonderful what it can do for someone.
Yeah. And this really is a great place to hide out if you're interested.
Yeah, because it seems like it's got its dark corners. It'll be working.
Yeah. Wow. Well, anyway. So the next part of the tour is what?
Is senior bowling.
Senior bowling, and then I believe I'm going to try to do lunch at the Armory Grill today. Okay, well...
then Russo's on the list. I got to go hit all the old standbys.
Well, when are you working, Philip?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the dishes will be clean.
Well,
you can guarantee that. He can't speak for the rest of the week.
No, I can't.
I'm not implying anything. I'm just saying.
I know.
We know Philip will do the job.
Oh yeah. I get soaked from head to toe in water.
Yeah, I told a story the other day about being down in Washington and meeting a fellow who's very well connected politically on the national level, and I told him I was from Amsterdam. He says, please tell me, is Russo's still open, and do they still have the roast beef sandwich?
Oh, yes,
they do.
Yeah.
Yes, it was sad with the flooding to see. I was like, well, I'm glad they reopened.
Yeah. It was, and it had just fairly recently gone back into the family. It was out of the family for a while. They had, I don't know, one of those
interlopers.
Huh?
Interlopers come in for a while.
Well, we're probably related to them too. I just got to figure it out.
There seems to be a pattern, and the families leave, somebody else comes in for a little while, and then it goes back to the families after.
Wow. Wow. So, have you figured out how you're related to him yet?
No.
Well, if it's the Nethaways that are related to Joe, we're related to Joe through Tina. Via the Repepis, which is how Philip's related to us. So that would get us in there.
That's right.
I have a general theory that one way or another, just about everybody in Amsterdam is related. If you consider, as I do, whenever I'm running for office, when two people get married, the families merge. You know, the two become one flesh, and your relatives are my relatives. Well, if you just keep jumping around, you can figure out how you're related to everybody, and it's not even a Kevin Bacon thing. It's not just you know somebody who knows somebody, or you're actually related to somebody who's related to that one, and that's how you all end up at the same funeral.
And that's why you have to be careful dating in Amsterdam, because you could be dating your cousin.
Sounds like there's a good chance you're dating your cousin.
Hasn't happened yet.
It hasn't happened yet.
Really? You sure?
Positive.
You've done the deep background check.
I always do.
Yeah.
Or do they?
Probably.
Yeah.
Did Mariah like that song we played for her?
No, I haven't told her. She doesn't. No kids.
Kids don't listen to this show?
Whoa!
What are you saying?
Whoa!
What do you mean? What do they listen to if they're not listening to us?
Some FM station in Albany.
F&M station.
FM? What the heck is FM?
You know, we're going to have to talk to Mr. Palzak about having this required listing for social studies students.
I
Yeah.
don't have them yet.
I'll talk to him anyways.
Yeah, talk to them anyways. You should talk to all the teachers.
Just like we should talk to him about, make sure every student reads, where do we find such
Where do we
men?
find such men?
Actually, that's a good idea.
That is a good idea.
It was a really good book.
That is a good book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, this is WCSS 1490 on your dial in Amsterdam, New York. You're listening to the show with no name, our special fill-in hot shot today is Phillip Tambasco, teen historian, and our very, very special guest, Mr. Vincent Moore of Phoenix, Arizona, via Amsterdam, New York. And were there other places in between?
Yeah, there was. There was some New Mexico stays. I was down there for about 12 years.
Yeah.
Yep, did the Carlsbad Cavern area for a long time, up to Albuquerque. So yeah, I pretty much bounced around
Albuquerque. So you must be a fan of Breaking Bad, then.
Yes.
Yeah. With the wife and I recently watched the entire series end to end, and 7 episodes at a time. And so were you in the blue meth trade?
No.
Is it? I mean, is it like they were portraying it on the program?
No, I gotta tell you, Albuquerque does have its bad parts. Yes. And yeah, it is getting a little bad. Yeah, I used to drive by the car wash all the time.
No kidding.
Oh yeah.
So all those places are real in Albuquerque.
Yeah, the car wash is still there. Yep, on Central Avenue, just above Nob Hill. And
is it like a popular tourist spot?
It has become a popular tourist spot.
We were talking on one of the shows about how the people who own the house, Walter's house, are really getting annoyed because people keep coming by and throwing pizzas on the garage roof.
Yeah. And that's the same thing.
They're saying it's not funny anymore.
The last election, one of the people that were running, one of the candidates, they actually used the car wash as part of their campaign to bring attention to Albuquerque and his causes. Yeah.
Wow.
Then there was the big scandal that we want Albuquerque represented this way.
Art portrays real life, huh?
Isn't that funny? Better call Saul.
That's right.
And aside from the Better Call Saul, there's another series that's being filmed there now. I forget the name of it. That's currently on.
Really?
Yeah. All right. So, wow.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep moving. Hopefully, I'll stay in Phoenix for a little bit longer until I retire, and then I know I'm moving back in this direction after I retire.
Really?
I don't think I'm going to come this far north because I just don't.
Well, when you say this direction, you're covering like 2,500 miles here.
Well, that's it. I mean, I'm leaving my options open.
somewhere
between there and here.
Yeah, somewhere between Phoenix and here. I do know that, and I'm going to shoot for a little warmer weather.
Yeah.
Definitely don't want the snow. Love the snow. It's great to see it on TV. It's great to see it on Facebook, and it's even better to harass the people on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to hook him up with Paulie. Maybe he can end up in Tennessee someplace. Yeah.
That'll work. Tennessee's not bad.
Tennessee's not bad. So those are the only two states you've actually set down roots in, New Mexico and Arizona?
Yeah, over the last few, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, when I left here, I actually went to Buffalo for 3 years.
That's like a different state.
Yeah, well, it is. It's more Midwest. That's more of a Midwest Rust Belt city,
Yeah, and I worked right in the middle of where all the subway construction was at the time, and
they got a subway in Buffalo.
Yeah, they put a subway in way back when.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does anybody use it?
I have no idea. I've been back to Buffalo once. I was driving through on the way to Niagara Falls.
It was a government project. What difference does it make anybody use it?
Slowly I turned Well, Niagara Falls is a pretty great phenomenon.
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful. You know, I love it in the wintertime. It was beautiful up there.
Oh
with the
yeah,
ice
we've been there.
cover
We've been there in the winter when with the ice blocks and there. Went to Goat Island in the winter with the spray just
Freezing?
Turns the trees into crystal. Yeah, gee.
Yeah, it's probably one of the beautifulest things I've ever seen is when it's all covered. Yeah. But the last time I was up there was actually Victoria Day, so I got to see just the flowers booming, and it was just a fantastic.
Oh, Canada!
All right, when's Victoria Day, Gavin?
I got a brain freeze. When?
Oh, I don't know. I'm looking at you because you're the one with the Canadian roots.
I know it's coming up.
What? Your grandfather fought in the Canadian Army, didn't
he? So he could fight in the war.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't fight with us.
Yeah, so you must know Victoria Day must be ingrained in you.
Let me check my Palm Pilot. Hey. Let's see, when is it in here? I don't know.
I'm thinking it's any day now.
Yeah, really? It's around this time?
Yeah, I know it's right around this time somewhere, I believe.
Let's see, we were in... trying to think. We were in Canada on some holiday in... must have been in June because my oldest girl was 6 months old at the time, and the Queen Mother was there. We went to Fort Niagara, Ontario, not to be confused with Fort Niagara, New York. I think they still have cannons aimed at each other. But the Queen Mother was there, Queen Mother Elizabeth. She was only like 97 at the time.
Oh, so she was still young, yeah.
And she was great. She was absolutely charming. Absolutely charming. Yeah. People of Niagara, when last I was here, we were with my husband, the King. He was alive, of course. Yeah, they came during World War II, I guess, and that was her first trip back to the area in all that time. So they were delighted to see her, and we got to wave to her.
Yeah, she waved back.
Yep.
Huh?
She waved back.
Of course. Oh. Yes. Yes, those Windsors know how to wave, for God's sake.
Oh yeah. Hey, it's
even if they're only Windsors by marriage.
It's always good to be in the crowd waving back.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was very civilized. The whole thing was very civilized.
I don't have internet here.
Oh no, they got us blocked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure somebody out there knows.
Oh, I could look it up.
When you pose the question, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot I set this up looking for Werewolves.
Werewolves of London.
Oh no, I don't want Victoria. I got Victoria's Secret. No, Victoria Day.
That's different.
Victoria Day. Wikipedia. May 25th, the last Monday before. I'm sorry. It's like our Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Victoria in French, Fête de la Reine. Not Fête de la Victoria, Fête de la Reine, Feast of the Kingdom, is a federal Canadian public holiday celebrated on the last Monday before May 25th, so it's a week earlier than Memorial Day, in honor of Queen Victoria's birthday. The date is also simultaneously that on which the current reigning Canadian sovereign's official birthday is recognized. It is sometimes informally considered as marking the beginning of the summer season in Canada. It's been observed in Canada since at least 1845, originally falling on the sovereign's actual birthday, and continues to be celebrated in various fashions across the country on a fixed date. The holiday has always been a distinctly Canadian observance. Well, yeah, I mean, we're not going to observe it.
They could observe it in Australia. She was sovereign over them at one time.
But we're pretty good at Cinco de Mayo here, so why not Victoria Day?
Well, that's true. You're right. It makes as much sense. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure most of the people who celebrate Cinco de Mayo haven't the slightest idea what that's about.
That's true.
Because
of course, that's huge.
It's a pretty obscure Mexican holiday, let alone Hispanic holiday.
Yeah, they don't even really celebrate it in Mexico.
Well, I mean, why would they? It was rather insignificant. It's not their Independence Day. It's the day they threw out Maximilian. It
was important one day.
It was important.
That one day.
It was important at the time, yes. And it must have been Santa Anna's 15th return or something like that. He came in, he was out, he was in, he was out. I think he was dictator 5 times, wasn't he? Over the years, even as an old man, they were bringing him back. without a leg.
Yeah.
You know? They did bring his leg separately. Yeah.
Shipping separate.
Yeah, or I don't feel like being dictator this time. Well, can we have your leg? You know. They offered the job to Winfield Scott. You know.
He's the one to beat him.
Well, yeah, but after the Mexican War, they said, well,
Who won?
well, why don't you stay and be our dictator? Well, I'm sure he gave it some thought. You know, he was an American through and through. Victoria.
Somebody's got an answer for us.
843-2500 is the number. Our special guest, Mr. Vincent Moore. Not to be confused with Victor Moore, the famous actor.
True. No relation.
Or Victor Mature.
Or Victor Mature. Or Victor anybody, because his name's Vincent.
He was the first number in our old telephone, right? Victor.
Victor was.
Yeah.
Victor 3,
VI.
Victor 4.
All right, here we go. This is WCSS. You're on the air.
Oh, Robert, hey, I
Yes.
had to call you back for a minute. I want to ask you something. Since you're in Amsterdam, I'm not there, which
Yeah.
I still have a few friends left that serve that pays taxes.
Yeah.
What happens to these out of town thinking landlords that don't live around the city? Is that being enforced or no?
I think the last I heard, what they wanted to do, since you're out of town anyway, that you must live near some of these people, so they want you to check up on them and find out why they're not paying their taxes.
Well, I mean,
Can you do that? Can you do that for us, Polly? Can you do it? Can
Bob, what's that?
Well, you live outside the city, right? So
I live over 950 miles away. Yeah.
well, yes, and so do some of these absentee landlords. So I think you should be the person, since you're outside the city already. You should be rounding them up and asking them what the heck is going on. What's the story with you guys, right?
Yeah, but Robert,
we'll give you a percentage. We'll give you
Robert,
what?
Bob, I want to tell you something. I'm not taking liberal, okay? I don't own property up in Amsterdam, which I don't even you want to think about, but I feel bad these people that has to pay rent up there, and they live over in the town of Florida, they live in Hageman, and they live down in Schenectady for one thing, and who knows where, and that is not being enforced, and I feel bad for Mrs. Diane Hassenbuer because she's trying to do her job, and you get these other ones that just sit there, don't they can do nothing, you know?
I hear you.
That's what I'm wondering. If that's being enforced. I know she's trying to do her job, and they don't like her because she's trying to get after things, and they don't think they like it.
Yeah, I hear you. When are you coming back, Paulie? When are you coming back?
Bob, you want me to tell you? Oh, I gotta wait till next week. Bob,
what?
Robert, I want to ask you.
Yeah.
I do miss something. I don't have too many more friends up there, okay? Because there's a couple of people that don't like me up there, which I don't care.
There's a couple of people don't like me up here, too, but the heck with them.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what I
want to ask you about something for hanging the phone up. I miss somebody from the town in Perth, and I miss my girl from Misty Ford from Academy Street. Otherwise, and I wouldn't think care less. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I feel bad about, you know?
Okay.
And she's my sweetheart. I don't care what nobody says, you know. So.
All right. I'm sure she's listening.
Okay. Hey, it's 80. It's 8 degrees there already.
What's that?
80 degrees, I think he says?
Yeah,
Yep.
I can see 80.
Yeah.
It's 80.
It's 80.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's all right.
I see you, Jim. Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye.
Have a nice day.
All right.
It's been 80 here, too. We had a 40 and a 40.
Yeah, 2 40s in a row. We had 2 40s in a row. We were
Same
thrilled.
thing.
We were thrilled.
I know. It's been beautiful here.
It was a little warm in Phoenix yesterday. We've been kind of following
Yeah.
temperature down there.
I know it was 96 the day I left.
Yeah.
And we were just a little seasonally high.
My son was down on the Texas border, in the Rio Grande Valley in the Big Bend National Park a few days ago.
No.
And it was warm down there.
Is 96 in dry heat different than 96 in humidity?
Well, it's a dry
It
heat.
is actually.
Well, it is.
You know,
There's no question.
There
it
is a big difference.
There is a
yeah.
difference?
Oh, there's a
yeah.
huge difference.
Oh yeah, there's no. Yeah, the humidity is what's just unbearable.
I've been in New Orleans where it was 96 degrees and 97% humidity, and let me tell you, it was not the same as being in the Grand Canyon when it was 96 degrees, which was hot. It was hot, but it was nowhere near as stifling. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, you can still
It's absolutely
breathe.
true. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's like breathing inside a sauna. You're
Okay. Just wondering.
your lungs start burning up, but they don't fill up. They just burn from the inside out.
It's just
That's
nice
a
and dry.
difference. It's a dry heat.
Dry heat, okay.
Dry heat. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not quite hell, but you can see it from there.
Boy, I got off the bus in Needles, Arizona.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Needles is right across the border from California.
Why'd you get off the bus?
Up there by Lake Havasu in that area.
It must be right on the interstate because the bus made a stop there, and it was 2 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock in the morning.
Dry heat?
Yeah.
They opened that door, and it was just slammed against you. It slammed against you. It was 112 degrees, I think, at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it's in the desert. Yeah.
Yeah, we have 2 weeks where we don't go below 100 at all. Day, night, anything. It's above 100.
Air conditioning a must.
Yeah, we just
Well,
stay
that's what
inside.
made it possible.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like,
So, did you know Barry Goldwater personally?
no, I didn't.
No. Okay.
The only politicians I ever got to meet I did get to meet Gerald Ford.
Gerald Ford.
Yep.
After he was president?
He was running the second time.
Oh, really? That long ago?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
wow.
a political thing, and I believe they
1976.
Yeah.
Wow.
They had a little campaign office, or they had a stopover on the south side, and got to meet him over there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Gerald R. Ford.
Right. And then,
Better than Jimmy Carter.
I know a guy who knew him. The guy runs actually. He must be dead by now. I haven't been up there in a long time, but he ran a B&B up in New Hampshire. Retired up there, so he and his wife were running this B&B, and they were good friends of Bob Hope's.
oh, okay.
And Bob Hope used to stay at the B&B periodically, and they'd stay at Bob Hope's house. And yeah, seriously, I got a lot of good stories about this guy. Got them all in 2 days we were there. But in any event, he's telling this story about how somebody in Palm Springs or Rancho Mirage or wherever the heck the Hopes was having a party, or having some people over, and Gerald Ford lived next door. And they say, Jerry, can you come over to our party? And he says, you know my terms. You're familiar with my terms, aren't you? They said, yes, Jerry, we're familiar with your terms. All right, then, $10,000 for a personal appearance.
Wow.
Get out of town.
And
Just to come to a party?
Yeah. Because, obviously you're inviting me because I'm Gerald Ford, former president of the United States, and it'll cost you $10,000. This is his next door neighbor.
You invite him because he's your neighbor. You invited all my neighbors.
Right, but he's having other people come in, so therefore. Yeah. And Spiro Agnew was at the party as well. Yeah.
$10,000, jump the fence.
Wow.
$10,000 to walk. Yeah.
Jump the fence.
Yeah. He didn't even have to jump over it. He would have tripped if he.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Wow, that's terrible.
Yeah. He's still the only All-American who ever became president, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's not the only one who ever played an All-American.
What?
Well, that's true. That's true. George Gipp.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan played Gipp, and
That's
Yeah.
true.
And
they won one for him.
Yeah. Newt Rockney, All-American.
Yeah.
Made him a star. Yeah. Rock.
That or Bedtime from Bonzo, one of those did it.
Someday, Rock.
Yeah.
Hey, was it? Oh no, we got 10 minutes. I'm misreading the clock. I need my glasses. You find that as you're getting a little older that the vision sometimes.
Oh, yeah. I'm holding at a distance, doing all that. Yep.
Yeah. So when did you have your first back surgery?
3 years ago. 3.5 years ago. Right. And I knew then, they did this Globus hybrid device.
Did you have an injury, or was this just one of those degeneration things?
It was a degeneration.
Yeah,
I
me.
can thank my mother and my grandfather for that.
Yeah.
It's like they had the same issues. My mom, however, she's been able to deal with hers without the surgery. I mean, hey, she's bowling.
Really?
Yeah. She's lucky. Shots, things like that worked for her.
Yeah. Well, I had mine about 6 years ago. I didn't have all the pins and everything. They just did some disc cleanup. But I tell you, I had pain that I had for 30 years that disappeared in an hour. And it was absolutely amazing.
Isn't that about the time you left elected office too? You lost a lot of those pains.
It was about the time I left City Hall.
See?
Yeah, it was.
You should have left City Hall first and see if you really needed it or not.
Yeah, no, I did leave City Hall first, but not by much.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was kind of strange how it all happened. I just woke up one morning and landed flat on my face.
The same thing.
Yep.
That's exactly what happened to me. I had fallen asleep on the couch watching TV. I get up the next morning and I couldn't get up, and fortunately, I had a cane nearby because my wife's uncle was living with us at the time. We happened to have left a cane right next to where I was, and I was able to pull myself up enough to get into easy chair and recliner and
bang for help and bang for help
and bang for help and yell for help. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
mine.
awful.
I actually lost my ability to walk for 2 weeks. I wasn't able to stand, walk, move, or anything. And, and the whole thing was
that generally tells you there's something wrong.
Yeah, it's like have the surgery or
or
be permanently in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So I fought back from that. I'm going for it. After going through those things, these little things like Amsterdam and their problems.
Well, that was it. Some of the other problems of life really kind of
doesn't seem so bad. Yeah. So that's why I think I'm so positive. It's like
So you had it done down there, obviously.
Yes,
if you ever have to do it up here, call Frank Genovese in Schenectady, Dr. Frank Genovese.
Okay.
Great surgeon.
I'm gonna have to pass that information on to my mom.
Yeah.
But she's bowling, so she doesn't have any problems.
She's bowling, and she's single, folks. No.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Unfortunately, the market the market is heavily in favor of the men at that age. Yeah.
And she's noticed, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, my widower friends, the handful that I have, they are never without society, whether they want it or not.
A lot of female companionship.
Yeah,
too bad it happened so late in life, though.
Yeah.
But what else they got to do?
What else they got to
That's
do?
right.
All right. So you have kids or?
I have stepchildren.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have. There's 5 stepchildren. There's 5 children, and there's 12 grandchildren.
Well, you kind of rolled your eyes when you said 12 grandchildren are nice.
I love them. I just had one of the granddaughters just got back last Friday after a 3-week exchange program in Italy, and so she was all excited, and then of course my daughter now has to do the 3 weeks with an Italian student.
Is this the Eisenhower program or something?
I'm not sure what program it is. I know that if they take the language in their 5th year of taking the language, then it sounds
like a local thing.
Yeah, I think it's a local thing out there in Binghamton.
Yeah. Because my daughter, my oldest girl, did a 3-weeker, and they went all. They started in England, and they ended. They did the Eiffel Tower in Paris, and I think they did Luxembourg and Belgium and Holland and a little piece of Germany. They stayed in Aachen, which I think our troops took in about 30 seconds. That was one of the first places we occupied in Germany. They were over the border. The white sheets were out. Yeah.
And then of course the rest of the kids, they all live Oklahoma, Ohio, so they're all spread out all over.
So you got a place to stay if you should choose to drive.
Someplace in the middle.
A couple of places in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And actually, my son actually lost the roof of the tornadoes down there in Moore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tornado Alley, huh?
Yes, they all live. I have 3 of them that live in Tornado
Never
Alley.
been in Oklahoma. It's one of the few states I've missed.
Yeah.
I have friends there too.
You really haven't missed much.
Well, I don't know. It's I find it an intriguing state because it's just like it's like the last jigsaw puzzle piece. It's just sitting there. It's not Texas and it's not Arkansas and it's not it's Oklahoma where the wind comes sweeping down the plain.
And the one thing about Oklahoma is in Bartlesville, where a couple of my kids live. Frank Lloyd Wright actually built 2 buildings in this little town of Bartlesville because that was where he would stop when he would travel from the West Coast to the East Coast. And so the building actually looks like a stylized tree.
So you mean he came in to get a meal at the diner and being Frank Lloyd Wright just designed a building on a napkin, probably.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So, it's called the tree in he's like the tree in the desert, or the tree in the middle of somewhere. But it's just this big building in the middle of Bartlesville, and that's about all that's out there.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
Wow. Got friends in Tulsa, which I guess is a pretty big town.
Yeah, that's Jen.
Yeah. and I had a great aunt who was a sister of St. Joseph back in the 19th century, who from Amsterdam, who ended up teaching in an Indian school there. It was still the Indian territory back when she was there. The land rush hadn't even happened when she was there. And they had dirt floor school and no heat in the winter, and
it's like most of the homes out there now.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been to Oklahoma. I could not say.
Even 30 years ago when I left, I would have people wondering, well, is it still Indian territory? Do you guys have running water? I mean, they just didn't quite grasp that concept that, we're a full
state now.
Full state now, yeah. We are a little over 100 years old.
Brand new state.
Yeah.
Gonna treat you grand. Did we do this routine already? This is sounding familiar to me. I think we did. Yeah. Trouble is, we've been doing this show, Gavin and I, together for like 5 years and
a half,
and well, a little more, 5 years and plus a couple of months. We repeat routines without even knowing it. I didn't tell you this. You weren't involved in this one, I don't think, but we did maybe you were. We did a special post-primary show in 2011 when we were at Gwib, all right, at the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And the video of it's a short one. It's only about 15 minutes. A short show. We just wanted to go over the election returns, and it was me and Chiara. I told the Dick Tuck story. Dick Tuck. He was
no.
He was a nefarious political hanger-on, and he was famous for pulling tricks on Richard Nixon in his younger days, including as soon as Nixon started speaking from the end of a campaign train, he gave the signal. He was dressed as a conductor and gave the signal to the engineer to move right out. That sort of thing. And he eventually ran for the state senate in California himself and got clobbered. And the reporters, the national press was covering the state senate race, and they asked, what he had to say. He said, "The people have spoken, the bastards." Anyway, I told that story in 2011, and it was word for word the way I told it the day before I watched it. This year.
Yeah.
It was earlier this year. I told that same story. It was word for word. It was probably word for word the way I just told it. Amazing, and it's not the first time. I've found other old programs where Gavin and I are having a dialogue, and it's exactly the same dialogue we had 2 years later.
It's Groundhog Day on the radio.
Okay. That's the joys of getting
And
old.
I'm wondering what the people at home are thinking.
Well, if they miss it the first time, just wait. They'll hear it again sometime.
They're probably checking their calendars, looking at their watches.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, we should look at our watches because we've reached the end of the program. Vincent, it's been a delight to meet you and to have you here, and I hope you thoroughly enjoy the rest of your stay, and you will keep us informed on Facebook of your further adventures, because you certainly seem like an adventurous guy.
I am.
I'd like to meet you.
And I never know where I'm going to wind up next.
All right.
It's been a pleasure.
Philip, what do you have to say before we go?
That you haven't said already.
When are you getting your license?
I can get it by next month.
Yeah, you got your time in yet?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
Yeah, I've been out enough.
All right.
So mom and pop still have to take you back and forth to work every day you work?
Yeah, I've been driving. I've been trying to convince them to let me drive down there.
Without a license?
Well, I have a permit.
But you can't drive alone.
No, I don't drive alone.
Yeah.
Not that everybody knows of, at least.
Okay. That about does it for today. We found out about Victoria Day. We did not get what was the name of that song? Werewolves?
Werewolves of London.
Werewolves of London. Mm-hmm. Did you guys have a treat here? These are for you guys. Yeah.
Oh, they're taking it home.
Couldn't show up without.
Vincent brought the refreshments today, and we thank him. We thank him most profoundly. All right. Hey. I don't know why, but the
theme show is still on.
Apparently, the theme show's been playing through the whole show. It's I think it's on. It must be on perpetual loop. Anyway, we'll be back on Monday at 10 o'clock for our usual 2-hour edition of the Show with No Name here on WCSS 1490 in Amsterdam, New York.